Did you know you can adjust dates right in pipelines? Adding, subtracting, and replacing values to create new dates? Welcome to Quickbase Junkie. I help Quickbase builders learn fast to deliver more. I'll share with you 2 ways to use Jinja and pipelines to adjust those dates. For this Jinja video, I have a really simple app. It begins with projects, and each project will have related tasks. So say, for example, we have a project to launch the Jinja date and time cheat sheet. I'll fill in a few more of these items and set the start date. What we want to do with our pipeline and ultimately with Jinja is create 2 tasks. The first for a kickoff meeting that starts in 2 days, and another for a check-in meeting that begins in the following month on the first of that month. Sounds complicated, but we can do it. I'll head over into my pipelines. Now, I've already gotten started with pipelines. If you have not used pipelines before, I highly suggest you check out my video, New to Pipelines, Let's Get Set Up. What I have here for my first step is simply a trigger when a record is created in that project's table. And I'm looking specifically for that start date. Next, I'm going to create our tasks. We'll start with our first task, which will be to create a record on the child tasks table. Here we'll populate just a few fields. The task name, due date, and related project. I'll go ahead and pull in the related project because that's the record ID and give that task a name. This will be our kickoff meeting. Now for that due date. We want the due date to be 2 days in the future from the start date. So I'll pull that start date over. And just after the start date, still inside those curly brackets denote that Jinja is being used. I'll add a plus sign. Then the term time.delta. This is the function that allows us to adjust time. The amount of time that I want to adjust by is 2 days. The syntax here is important. It's always plural. Days, months, hours, years, etc. If I wanted to add more than just 2 days and also say 2 days and 1 month, I would enter it as such with that comma in between, still with the plural months and the number of months. If I wanted to subtract this amount of time, I could change the sign here, or I could even add that sign here before the actual conversion if I wanted to say add 2 days and subtract 1 month, therefore having a mix of each. For our example, we just want that 2 days, so I will go ahead and delete this. Moving on to our next task, I'll pull in another create record onto that tasks table with those same fields. Always making sure to include my related project. That was back on step A. Give it a name. This will be our check-in meeting. And now for our due date. Again, we want to work off that start date in this example. And for that check-in meeting, we're looking at 1 month in the future on the first of the month. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and use that time delta, setting the months equal to 1. Even though it's just 1, I'm still using that plural. And then I'm going to include this whole thing in its own set of parentheses, because the next thing I want to do is replace the date that results from adding 1 month, where the day is now equal to 1. Adjust for 1 month, and then change the day within that date to the number 1, or the first of the month. I want to make sure to use those parentheses because we're using a second function on the result of the first. So it's really like that order of operation. I'll make sure to turn my pipeline on. Always a tricky bit there, making sure the pipeline is on. And I'll head back to my record. With my pipeline on, my record ready, I'll go ahead and click Save. You can watch our pipeline run. The record was created, that's the project. And now it's created our 2 child records. Hop back over and refresh our record. Now when I scroll down, I can see that kickoff meeting is set for the 9th, which is 2 days in the future. And the check-in meeting is now July 1st, which is 1 month and that date in the future. Let's look at our pipeline one more time. As I mentioned, you can double up, adding in months, days, years. That would take us 2 years into the future, and we could even replace the month here with the month of 12. That would put us on the first day of the 12th month, 2 years in the future. For more ways to adjust and modify dates and times, download the free Jinja date and time cheat sheet. It will give you all the information you need for things like time delta replace, as well as a number of other items. In this particular example, we've been using a static date. This is a date field, that start date field, so we did not need to concern ourselves with the time zone because we're basically just doing a one-for-one swap through Quickbase. If you do need to use a relative date like today, you can check out the video how to access the current date or time. And then for more in-depth training on Jinja for pipelines, extending way beyond these dates and times, check out the Intro to Jinja course. It is one that is the most popular with my students. Lots of 5-star ratings there. You will absolutely love it. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe using the link below. You can also drop me a comment and let me know what you thought and what you enjoyed the most. And then head over to quickbasejunkie.com to grab one of those free downloads. Bye for now. Using the link below. Bye for now.